you'd improve this, which is always,
Yeah, and you didn't have to make it up
there's
or
nothing
something
that
like,
I would
what
even
can
tell
I
him.
say that'll be
Yeah, I mean,
honest?
everything he did was so good, and God for. And I told Saul McGraw, I hadn't told him this. I saw his movie, and I was photo shoots. Are those something? Do you like getting your picture made?
Mm-mm. It's much like going to the gynecologist. I mean, seriously, talk about, it's unpleasant for me because the world I live in is music, and anything above and beyond that. That's why I don't like doing videos that much, besides the fact that the budget aspect of it. I really am not into that as much anymore. I think as you get older, well, for me, I just don't rely on that as much anymore. I remember a time in my 20s and 30s when it was all about, hair and makeup, and it still is when I have to, absolutely have to. I do my own for everything, unless it's an album cover or a photo shoot of some kind magazine. I do my own because I was doing it in the car on the way over here. I rely less and less on that than my gift, which is my voice. And I know in a world that we live in today of 8x10s, and I don't know if you'll notice this on the album covers now, I show all the lines. I'm real proud of them. It's been a long road. But no, they're not my favorite, because I think you feel very exposed. You feel, I don't know about you standing in front of people, and I have that performer's anxiety of people going, let's see, has she put on a little weight? Is she, do you know what I mean? It's just everything that you're insecure about becomes in the front center.
But you're not trained to be Cindy Crawford, and they got you moving around and doing all this kind of stuff.
It's
but
weird.
At the end of the day,
it's weird.
It always looks good. It somehow, or at least I think it does, doesn't it?
I want it to show the joy part. I really loved the photographer, and she and I got along famously. And what's the Indian belief that the lens steals the soul? Mm-hmm. They really believe that, and I think that's why TV makes me so crazy. I literally go through this thing of looking for exits because I feel like that's going to zap me. I feel the same way about a lens. It's so intimate and so close. You have to forget it's there, and you have to tap into, okay, why am I here? I think about the reader, reading the story, and try to make that connection.
Don't you have to be in a different place, too, when you do a magazine interview? Because they get it all in your business, don't they?
They can, and I'm setting boundaries. I used to be quite the open book, but I'm learning to say no. That's a complete sentence. And I used to be so forthcoming with information. The fans pretty much know everything at this point. Well, almost everything. And I want to be vulnerable and real, and I want people to know my heart. Because being famous and having success really stereotypes you. And I think I spend so much time trying to show people the human side of being a mother, being a wife, being an artist. And that's why I think I talk so much, because I want people to not think or assume for a minute that I'm above where they live. Mm-hmm. So I think I try too hard.
But they do get in your business, and we don't do it in TV. We're not allowed to get in your business, but they hang around for a day or two, or
they do, and they want more.
And
it's just like that next door neighbor. They'll always want more. They always want to know the deepest detail, something you'll tell them and not someone else. And there's, anytime you do TV, and I won't name names, but a lot of the networks, if you do them second, they're not happy about that. So you have to give the exclusive. So I'm just going to start making up stuff,
But the Judd in you and Wynonna in you makes you want to make them happy. You want to be.
I want people to really love me.
They want to be a satisfied customer when they leave.
I want people to love me to the point where I have therapy about this, because I want people, when I leave the room, to say she's, so nice, because I really worry that people are going to think if I'm quiet that I have an attitude, because I've gotten that before, and I've had this issue with some of the press people thinking that I have an arrogant attitude. It's the opposite. I have fear, and thinking I'm not good enough. And yet if you don't say something, they'll make up what they don't hear. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think I've always felt like I had to explain everything, why I do what I do, and hopefully people will like me. God forbid if they don't.
Let's go back in time to Kentucky. Who taught you how to play guitar? You remember those days when you didn't know what you were doing? I mean, you had a God's gift singing, obviously.
Yeah.
But, this is W.O. Smith question.
Okay.
These kids are learning how to play piano. I think it's horrible to learn your first instrument of guitar, because it made me want to quit. My fingers hurt too bad. What do you tell little kids that are out there that want to do it? They know they have a little talent in singing, and they're trying to tackle learning a musical instrument.
That's a great question. I think I really want to speak to the parents first and say, allow your child to do their thing. In other words, I wanted Elijah to play piano, got him lessons, and he didn't care for it at the time. And I struggled with, it's a real good foundational thing. He needs to know. And I didn't push it, and I let him switch to drums. I always say on stage, to thine own self be true. Let your child be who they are, because we live vicariously through our children. We want them to be what we want them to be. Be very careful. If your kid wants guitar and you want piano, let them do guitar. They can always come back around. I tell kids and adults everywhere that it's just like a relationship. You do have to work at it. People think that they're going to be rock stars, especially nowadays. I worked on Nashville Star, and I noticed a lot of the one-hit wonder thing of I'm ready to headline, you know, and here I've spent all these years learning the business. I think people really underestimate the power of also letting kids waste time in their gift. In other words, let them dream, let them play records, and let them get lost in their dream, because this up here is, and this right here has to connect. And so in other words, practicing is important, but allowing kids to dream and have fantasy is equally, if not more. In other words, the emotional intelligence is important.
But I know for a fact that you did not want to get up in the morning to go to Channel 4 when you were sleeping at whatever time y'all had to get up there. So
I wanted the $25.
But there's a certain degree of discipline that is required that may have to come from the parents.
My work ethic is because of my mother. I was not wanting to be a front man. I wanted to be in a band. I wanted to be on stage, but I didn't want to do the interviews. I didn't care about talking. It is a full package thing. And I plan on doing a camp someday where I have kids come out to the farm for a week and teach them mind, body, spirit. But for kids, I say there's discipline, there is the work ethic. We call it fake it till you make it. In other words, do the work physically and your heart will follow. And you'll get it. You'll get zapped at some point, but you got to keep walking the walk. And you know what I tell kids today? Show up. Suit up and show up is half the battle, if not more. I think kids want to pick and choose the big stuff. Listen, I still play county fairs. I still play casinos because I know that somebody in that audience has never seen me before. Do you know what I mean? And I could talk for an hour about this. Kids are my heart now. I'm planning on the next part of my career really dedicating a lot of time to them because they are the future. Grace, my daughter, 10 and a half, already is ready to be the next Hannah Montana. Elijah, you know, skateboarder, he wants to play, but when he wants to. Gracie may make a career out of it and support me in my old age like I am my mom, which wouldn't that be a trip?
It's on here.
It's on the second.
It's on the which page? Second page?
Yeah, this isn't the very finished product.
Christmas song. Yeah, I tell you which one I really, really like. Winter Wonderland. I don't know why I like that song. But
I don't
like
either.
I
wasn't going to put it on here, and I thought, you know what? It's still one of my favorites, though.
It was one if you had to tie me up and say, okay, you heard the album. Ave Maria sticks out more than anything.
I don't know.
I can hear it.
And you know that it's.
Nat King Cole.
I think.
Not Crosby on that one.
No,
he's
it's
White
not.
Christmas.
It's not Nat King Cole.
No, White Christmas is Bing. Yeah.
I can hear it with a girl singer.
You know that's a Soldier's song. I didn't know that.
It's sad.
I gotta
Of course it
I
is.
gotta find out like what the reason was the guy wrote it. It had to do with a soldier writing home saying, "I'll be home for Christmas." Ugh.
And then Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is another one that's is cool too. Yeah, okay. Yeah, back over.
You know what the verses of
It's an interesting
Emmanuel?
choice of songs here because there's so many to pick. You know, obviously you can go with Rudolph for the fun stuff and all that, but I don't know, it's just one of these albums, you know, obviously there's a lot of, this thing will be around for the end of time, longer than anything else you've ever done, which is always weird. You know,
I know that
because
is weird,
if you
isn't
knock
it?
it out with a Christmas song, it will be here long after you're gone. They'll be playing, say, oh yeah, that was that Wynonna girl, you know, from
Oh
back
wow,
in,
that's interesting.
in
I hadn't really gotten
2006, because I'm still playing songs, and I have on the radio for songs that are from the 50s.
And we all go
40s.
back to the same thing. Isn't it funny? It's like Baskin Robbins. You go for the same thing every time. It's just
because
it's
where you have
comfort.
your
It's
memory.
comfort. It's
where
tradition.
Your comfort zone is. It's comfort food.
It's
Christmas
tradition.
Music is comfort food.
That's exactly right. That's why I put the ones on there that I love because
Those are
I thought
comfort songs, and those are the ones that I mean. I'll be home for Christmas. Everybody sung that somewhere.
Can we get you to say hello to our editor at 6 o'clock?
Oh, my God.
Her name's Ashley, and she
Is the
your
biggest one.
fan.
She's in the.
Ashley, my sister friend, how you doing? You want to get together for a good time? Call me. No, actually call Rondell 790-8300. You can buy me lunch sometime.
Now, she
I
gets
hear-
mad at me because I give her, you know, because I'm pushing her. Sometimes she gets aggravated. So she knows that I know Wynonna. So
Well, I love you too, and
One
I
of
need
the
all the
loyal
love I
fans in
can
the
get.
world,
Us girls
too.
got to stick together. Attitude, baby.
that's right.
She's a redhead, too.
Is
Oh,
she?
she's a redhead.
That's
Great.
right.
Why she gets so mad at me?
Why?
What?